Hare So this is session 5 of device course. This is one of the most important and practical sessions of all of the sessions. Okay. So the session 5 is discover sublime joy through sound, and this is most important session because till now what we have been discussing. So we discussed a lot of philosophy, and we started with. I think there is some sound. Maybe you can reduce the sound. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Yeah. So there is some echo, no? Echo. Hare Krishna, Krishna. So we discussed about soul, we discussed about existence of God, we discussed about scriptures. Last session we were talking about how science cannot solve the real problems of life. The real problems of life are birth, old age, janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi, dukkha, dosha, darshana. In this session, specifically, we'll see a very practical way of actually what all of us know. Like I said, all of us have been meditating. After the session, we do one round of chanting. Before the session, also we do kirtan. But this session will tell us practically and scientifically and logically and also through scriptures why this chanting process is important. So why this is important? Because just theory is not actually, it doesn't get us anywhere. Just theory. There have been many theoretical, or I mean it's called like in Harvard Divinity School, if you go, there are many people who study philosophy, but in their practical life they are not applying anything, any principles. So they may be knowing a lot of things, but the practice is zero. For example, let's say that you and me, we sit in this room and discuss for hours of how to swim, but will we learn swimming just by discussing philosophy? No, unless you go and dive in water and move hands and legs. Till that time, it is just theory. That theory has no. It is important, but theory is not all in all. Unless we do practical devotional service. Similarly, we can study of how to drive a car, but unless one goes and sits behind the wheel, it is practically impossible for them to learn driving. Similarly, spirituality is also spirituality. So there is spirit, and this word is composed of two things, spirit and ritual. So there are rituals, and there is spirit behind the rituals. One should know both. Otherwise, if you don't know the philosophy, if you are just doing the worship or practical things, so it is just doing the ritual. So that ritualistic way also doesn't last. And the other side is, we are just discussing, but we are not doing anything practical. Prabhupada used to say that religion without philosophy is religion without philosophy is sentimentalism. So you are practicing religion, but without backing of philosophy. So that means you are on a sentimental platform, correct, no? And he said that philosophy without religion is mental speculation. So you can be just sitting there called armchair speculators. We can just sit and discuss for hours together, but without any practical devotional service. So the term bhakti, the term Sanskrit term bhakti, Prabhupada, he translated as devotional service. It's not just devotion, it is devotional service. So it's not just service also, seva. It is devotional service. When both things are there, then only it completes the loop. Just doing service without philosophy is incomplete. Just doing devotion, sorry, just doing devotion without service, that is mental speculation. So, therefore, this session is very important, and this is one of the highly discussed chapters or theme in Bhagavad Gita. There are dozens and dozens of verses which actually we'll see in the verses in Bhagavad Gita also. But there are many places in Bhagavad Gita where Krishna repeatedly touches upon this concept of sound vibration or devotional service through sound. So let's go and dive deep into this session. So first we'll see something scientifically of how actually sound is important, power of sound vibration. Then we'll see some scriptural references and some scientific research about chanting. And then benefits of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Yeah, so power of sound vibration. Here he says, sound, it creates revolutions. It invokes emotion. So sound is a very subtle matter. So if you see, the body is made up of 5 things: earth, water, air, fire, ether. Yes, Pancha Mahabhut it is called. Pancha Mahabhut means it is 5 elements. So out of all these 5 elements, sound is the subtlest of all elements. So for example, to give just a very crude example, suppose we are sitting in this room, right? I take a ball, I throw towards the wall. So the ball will not cross the wall because it's very gross matter. So it cannot penetrate the wall. Yes. Now, because sort of all the 5 elements, earth is subtlest, I mean like grossest, earth. Then water is little more subtler than earth. So there is some gap in this door, so water can seep in because water is subtler than earth. So earth, and then comes water. Earth, water, fire. Fire is even more subtle than water. So it can even go very small, like smoke. It goes through a small hole. Earth, water, air, fire. Yeah, air. Air is earth, water, air. Sorry, next comes air. So air can go even through a small hole, right? And then fire is even more subtler than all of the above 3. Earth, water, air, fire, and ether. Ether is actually space. Sound travels through that. So sound is even more subtle. Even if you completely seal a wall, sound can still permeate through it, right? Why? Because sound is very subtle. And therefore, this concept is very important to understand because what we are doing, devotional service, what meditation that we do, mantra meditation, here he says that sound is, it can create revolutions. Sound can invoke emotions. So sound can go in such a place where none of the other elements can even enter in our mind. Can anything go? No. None of the other 4 elements can enter our mind except sound. So there are many physical like therapies based on sound. And we have a practical experience when we hear some If you go to a party, you hear some party music, we feel like dancing. Similarly, when we hear some sad music, we feel like crying. So it has impact on our mind, and we cannot deny it. Correct? None of the other matters, I mean, like all the four matters may have that direct impact on our mind, but sound does have. In fact, here he says that see, sound creates revolution. Actually, most of the wars they happen because of sound vibration. There is some leader on the top, and he has such a speech that it can practically invoke people to just wake up and give up their lives just through sound. It is said that tongue has no bones, but it can break many bones. Correct? No? Without any bone, but most of the wars happen because of sound. The sound has such an impact on our practical lives. So we know this is the sound power of sound vibration, and even in science we see that there have been many case studies. So this is in a molecular level. If water is exposed to a good sound, positive sound vibration, it forms a crystal like this. Whereas exposed to a negative sound vibration, it forms a different shape. There have been many. I can show you one video. I think maybe many of you might have seen. So how through sound, different frequency of sound, the sand in it can take different forms. So I'll show maybe later. But this is yeah. So we can see what is mantra. Man means what? Mind. Yeah. And tra means trayate or delivers. It is derived from the root word. So mantra means one which can deliver the mind. So therefore the mantra that we chant, it is actually help or meant to control the mind. So therefore we do mantra meditation. There are two types of meditation. One is japa or personal meditation, and other is sankirtan or congregational chanting of the mantra. So we do both. Generally, in the starting, we do together. We have mridanga and kartala, and then we chant. It is called sankirtan. Sankirtan means samyukta kirtan, means coming together and doing kirtan. And then we also chant japa, which is our personal meditation when we chant on our rounds. So it is very important. Then there is some science behind how and why sound is important, and it practically affects our mind. So that is some science. Now coming to scriptural references, in every age there is a process of self-realization. I think maybe I have already told you before. So there are these four yugas in which they have yuga dharma of every age. So you can repeat after me this verse, this very important verse. Kriteyathyayato Vishnu Tretaayam yajato mathaye Dvapare paricharyayam Kalau tad harikirtanat. What it says, very important verse, what it says, that krite yad dhyayato Vishnu. Krita means Satyayuga. In Satyayuga, the process of self-realization was, you can see here, meditation on the super soul. So people used to go to Himalayas or forest. Dhyanavastita tadgatena manasa pashyanti yam yogina yastyantam sura sura gana devaya tasmai nama. So it says that dhyanavastita tadgatena manasa pashyanti yam yogina. So the yogis in their deepest state of meditation, they would see whom? Here, the super soul, which is situated in the region of heart. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Deshe Arjuna Tishtati, Brahman Sarvabhutani, Yantrarudhani Maya. So Krishna says that I am situated in everyone's heart. Hrideshe. That means in the region of heart. So there is soul and there is super soul, which is situated in every one of us. So the yogis, they in Satya Yuga, that was the process to go in meditation and meditate, dhyan, and then completely focus their attention on the super soul that is present. So that was the process in Satya Yuga. In Treta Yuga, Tretayam Yajato Makhe. In Treta Yuga was performing extensive sacrifices. And we see in Treta Yuga where Ramayana happened. Rajasvi Yagya, Shometa Yagya, Gometa Yagya, so many yagyas. And that was the process. So not only the person who does yagya, but anyone who participates in yagya, they are purified. So there are different elaborate processes of doing yagyas. In Dwapar Yuga, it was Dwapare Paricharya, and that means it was elaborate deity worship. So, yes. Devansh has question.
Is Dwapar Yuga medieval wala?
No. No, he's asking is Dwapar Yuga medieval time? No, it's long before that.
Yeah, it's long before that.
5,000-6,000 years.
Yeah, Dwapar Yuga was before 5,000 years. And then in Kali Yuga, Kalautat Hari Kirtana, the same process, that the same result that one can get in all the three yugas, that same result one gets in Kali Yuga just by performing Sankirtan, Kalautat Hari Kirtana. So now, why this is important? Because see, in Satya Yuga, the process was to go and meditate. Can we do that? Can we go to forest and Himalayas and meditate? Impossible. In this age, it is not practical at all. We can't even for 2 minutes also we cannot meditate. It is so busy. Life is so busy, and the minds are so disturbed in this age, and time is also so less. This meditation cannot just do it. It takes a lot of time. We hear Vishwamitra Muni Sobarim used to do tapasya for 60,000 years. Obviously, their lifespan is also more. Kali Yuga lifespan is less. Mandas Manda Matayo Manda Bhagyo Patita. So everything is reducing. So we don't have that much capacity. We cannot leave home and go to forest. So it is, although that is a process, but it is not feasible in this age. Very important. Similarly, Treta Yuga to perform various fire sacrifices is just not possible for us in this age. Why? Because first, we don't have qualified brahmanas who can chant the mantras. Because fire sacrifice means you have to have a perfect brahmana who can chant exact mantras. If little bit here and there it happens, then the whole meaning of the sacrifice can get changed. And that thing happened one time in anyway, that is a big pastime, but one of the person, he had done a sacrifice to kill Indra. So he wanted a son who can kill Indra, Tvashta. So when the sacrifice was performed, the Brahmanas, they recited Indra Chatro, like that. So instead of small who, they chanted a big who. So there is big and small e, like e, oo. So instead of getting a child who will kill Indra, the whole meaning changed, and it became a child who would be killed by Indra. So little bit, there's so many it is a very scriptural example, but there are so many nitty-gritties to perform sacrifice. And other thing is, sacrifices need a lot of purity, which people don't have in this age. And also elaborate deity worship that needs a lot of purity. And there are many rules and regulations. You have to take a bath, you have to do Achman, you have to, there are so many things. You cannot eat and worship. There are so many things which are needed to do deity worship as well. So, even though these are bona fide processes, but they are not feasible. Just like if there is a building, so you can take a staircase also. If the middle floor is 100th floor, you can go and walk, but it's not feasible. That is also a way, but that's not a feasible way. Better to take elevator. So therefore, in Kali Yuga, the feasible way of chanting, I mean, like physical way of perfecting one's life is through Kalautat Hari Kirtana, is to chant the holy names of Lord Hari or Krishna. So that is a Yuga Dharma for this age. Every Yuga has its Dharma, or every Yuga has its one process of self realization. And in Kali Yuga, this is the process, Kalautat Hari Kirtana. That is the process of how one can perfect one's life. Or what do major religions say about chanting? I think in all religions, not just Hindu religion. I mean, like Hindu is not a proper term, but in Sanatan Dharma, also not only Sanatana, but in all religions, we see that they have emphasis on chanting the holy names of Lord. Once Mother Teresa was interviewed by some reporter, and then she was she was asking that my dear mother, how do you get so much strength to do so much good to the world? And then she was, I mean, like she did not speak, but she just removed her beads, the rosary beads on which she used to chant. Uh, so he said that our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Name means name. Now, what we are also doing. Where Islam chants the sacred names of Allah, Sikhism, Buddhism, in all religions. We can see that. Similarly, Sanatan Dharma also recommends the repetition of the holy names of Lord in form of mantra. Okay, now there are some scriptural references of why. Now the process is clear that, so one thing is clear that in this Kali Yuga, the process is to chant or to remember the holy names of Hari Kirtan. So chant the holy names of Lord Hari. Now why only Hare Krishna? There are many names of Hari. Obviously we can chant any names. नाम नामकारि बहुधा निज सर्वशक्तिस्तत्रार्पिता नियमित स्मरणेन कालः एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैवमीदृशमिहाजनिनानुरागः. In the verse we pray generally every morning. So here is saying that devotee is saying that Nam Nam Akari. There are many names of Lord Hari or Krishna. Nam Nam Akari Bahuda. Many names. And in each of these names, Nija Sarva Shaktis. In each of the name, the Lord has invested his potencies. So each of the name is very potent. Very potent. We may not understand its potency, but it is very potent. Namna Makari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tattararpita Niyamita Smaranena Kala. And also there is no hard and fast rules and regulation to chant the holy names of Lord also. Tattararpita Niyamita Smaranena Kala Etadrishi Tava Kripa Bhagavan Mamapi. He is saying that, my dear Lord, you have made us yourself so accessible, such a mercy upon me. But Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrisham. But I am so unfortunate that I have not developed attraction for chanting the holy names of Lord. So like that. So obviously there are many names, but when we chant like various names, but we chant on beats, generally Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and there is a reason for this. We can repeat after me this verse. Hare, no, I don't repeat, I think it's a long verse. So this is, it comes in Kali Santaran Upanishad, which is the special Upanishad for Kali Yuga. There it says, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Iti Chodashakam Namna Kali Kalmashanashanam Nato Patarupaya Sarva Vedeshu Drishyate. It says that, so he's saying this mantra of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Iti Shodashakam Namna. That means this 16 syllable mantra of Hare Krishna. There are 16 words. Iti Shodashakam Namna Kali Kalmashanashanam. It can completely remove the misgivings of Kali Yuga. Natah Parata Rupaya. And even after reading through all Vedas, all scriptures, all everything, Natah Parata Rupaya Sarva Vedesh Drishyate. Even after reading all scriptures, one won't find a more sublime method of self-realization than chanting of this mantra. Nama Sankirtana Deva Tarakam Brahma Drishyate. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. In Brahmanda Puran 6.59 and 60, it says, the Nama Sankirtan of Hare Krishna Mahamantra delivers a complete revelation of all spiritual reality. Kalerdoshani Rajan Asti Kamhan Gunat Kirtanadeva Krishna Mukta Sangha Paramraja. This I think we discussed last time. So Kali Yuga is ocean of faults, but there is one good quality, that just by Kirtan of Krishna, or just by taking the names of Krishna, Mukta Sangha Param Vrije, one can be promoted to higher transcendental kingdom of Lord. Yeah, in the age of Kali, people should simply chant Hare holy names of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Nama eva kevalam kalau nasteva gatiranyatha. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilya 10.21, it says Hare Nama eva kevalam. So 3 times it is stressed. When do we stress 3 times? When actually thing is very important. Correct? So the scriptures are stressing 3 times. Hare Nama eva kevalam. And then when we say that if there is another process, then it says that Kalau in Kali Yuga, Nasteva Gatiranyatha. In Kali Yuga, there is no other way, other than chanting of the holy names of Lord Hari. Etavaneva lokesmin pumsam dharma parasmita bhakti yoga bhagavati tannama ghiranadivi. Srimad Bhagavatam 6.3.22, it says devotional service beginning with chanting of the holy names of Lord is ultimate religious principle of all living entities in the human society. Yeah. So these are some scriptural references. Going to scientific research about chanting, Dr. David Wolf was, I forgot, some professor in US universities only. So he did a lot of research. I will see the research, what he did.
Spiritual disciplines recommend meditational practices such as silent meditation, silent recitation of mantras, and also the verbal repetition of specific mantras out loud. A clinical test of the benefits of mantra chanting was performed on 3 groups of 62 subjects, males and females of average age 25. They chanted the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra 25 minutes each day under strict clinical supervision. Results showed that regular chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra reduces stress and depression and helps reduce bad habits and addictions. These results formed a PhD thesis at Florida State University.
Yeah, Florida State University. So this was a research done on control and test group. I think all medical people know that how when they want to test the effect of any drug, they have test group and control group. So similarly thing was done on a group of chanters of Hare Krishna Mahamantra and people who did not chant. This is a research outcome. How chanting the Mahamantra group shows decrease in stress, depression, increase in sattva. And then coming to some benefits of chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, continuing on it. They also studied that there are 4 zones, 5 zones in which brain generally functions, and that we can measure by brainwave frequency. It is cycles per second. There is sleepy zone where one is sleeping, drowsiness zone when one is awake but in a sleepy state. Then there is active zone where is too much active, and there is hyperactive zone. Hyperactive zone can be fatal also. In Japan, in shop floor, many people just collapse because of too much hyperactiveness. But they showed that when we chant, our mind comes in relaxed alert zone, which is brain wave frequency of 8 to 13. So that's one other finding. So all these are like some scientific studies on chanting. And then obviously one of the most important benefit of chanting is it can burn away the bad habits. Just like I think many of us have done the experiment of magnifying glass on paper, right? So when the paper can burn if you just keep, if there is sun shining above. So similarly, mind is compared to sun. Just like sun is scattered all around. Similarly, the thoughts of mind are also very much scattered. There's so many thoughts. In 1 second, so many thoughts cross our mind. It's completely chaos. But when we chant, when we meditate, it can bring the energy of mind in one point, and it can help us to burn away the bad habits. And that actually happened very recently. And Prabhupada he came to US in 1966. How many of you know hippies? The history of United States, if you know. So in 1960s, 70s, there was a movement of counterculture. So people were revolting against the traditional society because of Vietnam War and many reasons. So very rich, elite American boys and girls. So they had a slogan that anyone above 30 don't trust that person. They were another generation. So they were revolting against the natural way of life. So they used to take drugs, have illicit affairs daily, and intoxications, and so many things. It was there are many areas. If you go to New York, there was a Bowery area, San Francisco, the Hippie Hill. And these people used to,
The Beat,
yes,
the Beatles group, they were hippies. Even the Steve, the founder, he was one time hippie.
yeah, there are many Americans who are hippies. Um, so at one point, actually, the US government had a big problem of how to handle the hippies because they won't listen to anyone. So their philosophy was free culture. So you do anything, don't be bound by any rules. So they used to engage in illicit, affairs and have many partners and drugs and intoxication and whatnot. I don't want to describe in detail, but the same people when Prabhupada came in US in New York, the same people, they got attracted by this movement of Hare Krishna Mahamantra chanting. So Prabhupada used to sit under a tree. The tree is still there in New York. If you go to Tompkinson Square Park, there is Hare Krishna tree. Prabhupada didn't have any money and he had no followers. You can imagine coming to a place, and US was not like this. What is there today? They have Indian stores and Indian communities. Not like that. I'm talking about US in 1960s. Hardly no Indians. All white people. And Prabhupada coming to this country without support. He knew no one. He had no money. He had no place to stay. He only had Bhagavatam books with him. So he says in one of his prayers, Bhakti nahi veda nahi nama vedaro Bhakti vedanta nama vedasarthaka. So he says that, my dear Lord, and that is his personal prayer. It was just his personal diary, which not that written to publish later, but it was personal prayer where he was praying. Later, some devotees found out that diary. So in that diary, he's praying that, my dear Lord, I don't have anything. No, materially nothing. Can you imagine? I'm going to a country with no support, no money, no support, nothing. And not just that, he was 70 years old. He left Vrindavan on order of his spiritual master. We can't imagine because we are not 70 years old. Coming to so the owner of the India ship company, a ship from which Prabhupada came to United States. So he was given a free passage on a cargo ship. It was not a passenger ship. It was a cargo ship where big containers get transported. So on a cargo ship, he was given a free passage, and he was not actually. I mean, like the owner used to go and request the owner that please I want to go to US to fulfill the mission of my spiritual master. Which is that US is so cold and you are so old. If you go there, you will die like that because he had nothing, no support. So Prabhupada, anyways, long story short, we'll discuss that later. I can speak a lot. He got 2 heart attacks in the ship while traveling. Whenever we get, I mean, like, you can imagine 70 years old. If he would have got third attack, maybe he would have died. So when he landed, now generally what a normal person would have done if I have got 2 heart attacks on ship, immediately after landing, maybe I would have gone to doctor to see what is happening. Prabhupada didn't do that. He had faith. He just walked off and started. He used to sit under a tree. That tree is still there. It's called Hare Krishna tree. And we have visited sometimes back. So there, these hippies would congregate, and they would have their things. And Prabhupada used to just sit and chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra for many hours together. So there, the hippies, some of the hippies, we know, the same hippies now are big sannyasis in our movement. So that is the power of chanting. The same people. So this is just a recent example. If you go in past in history, there was one highway robber, and he used to stop people who were going on the road. He used to loot whatever money, gold they had, and he used to kill them. His name was Ratnakar, Daku. You have heard this name? Yes. So once when Narad Muni was passing by, so he stopped Narad Muni also to get, Narad Muni had nothing, no gold, no money, but he stopped Narad Muni, and he said, and then Narad Muni obviously is spiritual. He's not even in material body, so he cannot be done any harm. But Narad Muni asked this person that, my dear sir, for what you are doing so much sin? What is the purpose? He said that I want to maintain my family, my children. So he said that go and ask your wife and children and parents whether they will take a portion of your sinful reaction. And he went and asked wife. I said, no. It is your duty. It is your responsibility. Why should I take sins? Children said, no, I will also not take. For parents said, we will also not take. That was like a big opening point for him. Anyways, later he surrendered to Narad Muni, and Narad Muni said that from now onwards you stop this business, sinful business, and you chant the holy names of Lord Ram. And then he tried, but he could not pronounce the name Ram because it was so sinful. Because to pronounce the name of Lord also it takes some kind of piety. So Narad Muni said to him that now you chant, instead of Ram, you chant Mara. So then he started chanting because anyone used to kill Mara, Maru, Maru. So he started chanting Mara, 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 Mara. But it happened. So Mara means actually Narada tricked him to chant the names of Lord Ram. And the same highway robber, he became
Maharishi Valmiki.
Maharishi Valmiki. So who wrote Ramayana. Can you imagine a person who was not able to chant the names of Lord Ram? At one point, he became the person who authored Ramayana book. And why? How it happened?
Because of them.
Just by just by chanting the holy names of Lord Ram. So he said, Hari se bada hai Hari ka naam. Even greater than Lord Hari is the name of Lord Hari. It is said that Nama Chinta Mani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddho Nityamukta Abhinnatvam Nama Namina. So what it means? Nama Chintamani Krishna. So Nama is Chintamani. So Nama Chintamani Krishna. Chaitanya. Chaitanya means is living. It's not that the name is dead. The name is living. Chaitanya, it has spirit. Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. It is the reservoir of all pleasure. Just like if you drink some, some beverage, some cold drink or some nice drink, you feel so satisfied in heart. Similarly, he said that Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. So this is also one of the rasa. When you drink the holy name, Pibata Rasa, Murahu Ahu, like that he said that please drink the nectar of the holy names of Lord. Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddha. It is the most pure form. Purna Shuddha Nitya Mukta. It is always transcendental. Abhinnatvam Nama Namina. That means the name and the person are not different. Just like in this world, if we chant water, 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 will your thirst get quenched just by chanting name of water? No, because water substance is different and name is different. But because it's a material, thing. But when it comes to name, so the name Abhinnatvam, Nama and Namina, so they are not different. And means Krishna is not different than his name. It is not different at all. There have been many cases where devotee chanting Lord comes directly to save the Lord. I mean the devotee.
King Suman story is there. From Ramayana time. King Suman's story.
What can
King Sumant, he was there. He once by mistake he did something like not honor Maharishi Vishwamitra. So he was angry and he went to Lord Ram. He said, "Go and kill. I mean, I want someone to kill for me." So Rama, without thinking, he said, "Okay, whatever you say, Guru, I will do that." Without knowing who is the enemy, he thought Guru's enemy is my enemy. So he started doing that, and King Sumant came to know Rama is coming to kill me. No one is going to save me. So he went to
Suman is the
King Sumant. No, there is one more.
different. Okay.
Yeah.
Suman.
Yeah, he went to Hanuman's mother, Anjani. Anjani gave the word. And Hanuman came and Lord Hanuman came and he said, "Okay, I will give the word." But Hanuman said, "Since you have given the word, it's my duty to save him." So when Lord Ram, he shoot Ramban and all these kind of different Amok bar. But he kept saying you chant Lord Ram's name. Go submerge yourself in the holy river Saryu and keep chanting the name. And those arrows just surrounded through the parade, Pradikshina, and they went. So Lord Ram was surprised, who can this be?
Wow.
So that name is bigger than me.
Amazing. Beautiful story. Yes. Similarly, I think in Setukanda also when all the Vanaras they were writing Lord Ram's name
Right.
and they were throwing. So Lord Ram got a thought that let me also try. And then he said that if I am only the person, so he said that there is no need to write Ram in the stone. So he took a stone and he threw, and that stone drowned. Correct, so I was confused, by taking my name, the stone is floating. But if I am throwing the stone, anyways, Acharyas give many commentaries on that. So Acharya says that anyone who is rejected by Lord Ram cannot float; he will drown. So, anyways, they are like that. But the point is, there is a song also. This is song. Ram se bada hai Ram ka naam. जिस सेतु को पार न कर सके भगवान उस से सागर में कूद गए हनुमान लेके प्रभु का नाम. When Lord could not cross the ocean, but the same ocean, Hanuman was able to cross just by taking the holy names of Lord Ram. Yes, Ivan. No, you are Ishan.
The Dead Sea is the sea where But you cannot sink if you like sit in the
Yes.
water.
Amazing.
Different.
Yes.
It's a scientific stuff.
Perfect. But he remembered
Yeah.
from floating.
Yeah, he is trying to relate his stuff.
Yes, that's true. Nice. So, where we were? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Lord. Yeah, there is no difference between Lord Ram. I mean, like the holy name of Lord and Lord. Uh, Similarly, when Draupadi she called out the holy names of Lord. What is that? Agre Kuruna Mata Pandavana Dushyasanena Kritavastrakesha Krishna Tada Kroshadananyanatha Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. So Draupadi was in, where was Draupadi? She was in Hastinapur, correct, no? When the Vastraharan was taking place. And where was Krishna that time? Anybody knows? Where was Krishna? Dwarka. Krishna was in Dwarka. So Hastinapur is where? Delhi. Dwarka is where?
Gujarat.
Krishna was not there. But Draupadi, she just called out, Hey Krishna, Govinda, Damodar, Madhaveti, like that, she just called out, and Krishna immediately appeared in front of Draupadi. Why? Well, there is no difference between Lord's name and Lord. It's not different. Similarly, when we chant the holy names of Lord, one can get freedom from all sinful reactions. So it is very important. One may not even know that how many sinful actions one has done, but just by chanting one name of Lord, one can get rid of all the sinful reactions. So in Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma says, I don't remember the verse, but he says this is the translation. So he says that just like the seeds are fried in a pan, lose their potential to sprout harmful conflict reactions, lose their power to act by the power of the holiness of Krishna. Yeah, I just forgot the verse, but it is a translation. So just like when you do any, any action, you immediately sow a seed, and that seed fructifies immediately, or it may take some time. So Lord Brahma says that when we do chant holy names of Lord, so just like if you fry the seed will not sprout. Similarly, when we chant holy names of Lord, the seed of reaction will not sprout at all. Yeah. Yeah, relief from unwanted material desires. They are some of the benefits of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Yeah, he says that if I start my day on spiritual note by chanting Hare Krishna, I can make it through the day in a pleasant mood. So just like when we start our day, by eating breakfast, eating chawanprash, so that we can have energy throughout the day. Similarly, he's saying that if I start my day in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, I can make through the day. Chanting Hare Krishna, reading authorized Krishna conscious books. Yeah, there are actually many such people. When I'm stressed out, I chant. When I'm nervous, I chant. So it can actually really relieve us. It can relieve our mind completely. I have noticed that chant does program people become more realistic, more tolerant, more energetic. It can help us face the ups and downs. These Beatles, George Harrison, and a real process of having realization of God. Alfred Ford, the owner of Ford Motors. I started chanting Hare Krishna mantra on my beats and studying books, chanting Hare Krishna, chanting Lord Krishna's name changed my lifestyle. So we generally chant this Panchatattva mantra we do every time when we chant. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta. This is summary. I think we will end here. But before that, And let's end by singing one bhajan of Lord. Um, so first we'll read the translation and then we'll chant. Okay. It's a very beautiful song or bhajan. It's called Keval Ashtakam. So we'll maybe first let's read the meaning of this verse. I mean like these verses, and then we'll together recite. Maybe we can take turns and maybe we can read one verse of the translation. You would like to start first.
More sweet than all other sweet things, more auspicious than all other auspicious things, the greatest purifier of all purifying things, the holy name of Sri Hari alone is everything.
The entire universe from exalted Brahma down to the lowly clump of grass is a product of the illusory energy of the Supreme Lord. The only thing that is reality again, I say reality. The holy name of Sri Hari alone is everything.
A person is the true preceptor or the true father, a true mother and a true friend, only if they teach one to always remember. The holy name of Sri Hari alone is everything.
There is no certainty when the last breath will come and put an abrupt halt to all one's material plans. Therefore, it is wise to always practice chanting from very childhood. The holy name of Sri Hari alone is everything.
Lord Hari externally dwells in
Eternal.
that place where truly exalted, spiritually advanced souls sing in the mood of pure devotion. The holy name of Sri Hari alone is everything.
Oh, what a sorrow, what a great sorrow, more painful than any other misery in the world. Mistaking it is a mere piece of glass, the people have forgotten this dwell. The holy name of Sri Hari alone is everything.
Should be heard again and again with one's ears. It should be uttered over and over with one's voice. It should be perpetually sung and sung anew. A holy name of Sri Hari alone is everything.
It makes the entire universe seem insignificant as a blade of grass. It reigns supreme over all in a splendorous manner. It is full of eternally conscious divine ecstasy. It is supremely pure. The holy name of Sri Hari alone is everything.
Yeah, a very beautiful song. Repeat one and then you can repeat after me. Madhuram madhurebhyopi mangalebhyopi mangalam. Madhuram madhurebhyopi mangalebhyopi mangalam. Pavanam pavanebhyopi Harinamaiva kevalam. Pavanam pavanebhyopi Harinamaiva kevalam. Abrahmastambha paryanta सर्वं मायामयं जगत् सत्यं सत्यं पुनः सत्यम् हरिर्नामेव केवलम् सगुरु सपिता चापि समता बन्धवोऽपि सः शिक्षयेते सदा स्मर्तु हरिर्नामैव केवलम् विश्वासेन हि विश्वासः तदरुद्धो भविष्यति विश्वासेन हि विश्वासः कीर्तनीयमतो बाला हरिर्नामैव केवलम् हरिकथावसे तत्र यत्र भागवता जना हरिकथावसे तत्र गायन्ति भक्तिभावेन हरिर्नामैव केवलम् अहो दुःखं महादुःखम् दुःख दुःखतरं यथा अहो दुःखं महादुःखम् दुःख अतथां विस्मृतां रत्ना हरिर्नामैव केवलम् दीयतां कर्णो नियतां वच गीयतां नित्यं हरिर्नामैव केवलम् त्रीणीकृत्य जगत् सर्वम् राजते सकलोपरि नामैव केवलम् नामैव केवलम् हरे नामैव केवलम् हरे नामैव केवलम् हरे नामैव very beautiful song saying that of all the sweet things, the most sweet thing is the holy name. Madhuram madhure bhyopi. The most sweet thing of all the sweet things is, and the most purifying of all purifying things, pavanam, pavanebhyo. Hare nama yoketam. And it says that A Brahma Stambha Parivantam. From the topmost planet of Brahma, that is Satyaloka, to the bottommost planet, saying that all this world is Sarva Maya Mayam Jagat. Everyone is under spell of Maya. But there is only one real thing. Satyam, Satyam, Punah Satyam. The only real thing, I say again, the only real thing is the holy name of Lord Hari. Therefore, when a person dies, what we say? What general people say? Ram Naam Satya Hai. And the only truth is the Ram Naam, or the holy name of Lord Ram. All other things are, nothing is, it's here today, gone tomorrow. Right now, but the only thing that can stay with us is the only reality, the only truth. Sarva Mayam Jagat Satyam Satyam Punah Satyam Hare Namayeva Kevalam. Then he says that Sa Guru Sa Pita Japi. Who can be a guru and who can be a father and who can be a mother, who can be a relative? One who Shikshaye Chet Sada Smartum, one who teaches their sons or dependents how to chant the holy names of Lord Hari. Otherwise, it says that only those persons have the authority of getting this leadership position. So Guru is leader, mother is also a leader, father is also a leader, because they have dependents on them. So they can do justice to their position when they can teach their dependents on how to chant the holy name of Lord Hari. So like that. Vishwasena hai vishwaso kada ruddho bhavishya. We don't know when we'll breathe the last breath of our life. Vishwasena hai vishwaso kada ruddho bhavishya. Kirtaniya mato bhavishya. Therefore, always chant the holy name of Lord Hari. And he says that Hari sada vaset tatra yatra bhagavata jana. So where is Lord Hari? Lord Hari is there where Bhagavata jana, where the devotees are chanting the holy names of Lord. Krishna says in Bhagavatam, Naham tisthami vaikunthe. So he is saying to Narad Muni, I don't reside in Vaikuntha. Says, so then he says, second line I forgot. Then the third line he says, Yatra tishtami narada, yatra gayanti mad bhakta. I only stay in that place where my devotees sing of my glories. So he says that I don't reside in Vaikuntha. The second line in Sanskrit I forgot, but he says that I don't even reside in the hearts of the yogis. But I only reside in a place where my devotees come together like this. We are coming together and chant the holy names of Hari. Like that. Hari sada vase tatra yatra bhagavata jana. And he says, Oh dukkham maha dukkham. It is so painful. It is the most, tragic thing. What is the most tragedy of our life? Of all the tragedy, this is the worst tragedy. He is saying, Aho dukkha dukkha taram yata. Means of all the sorrows, this is the most, sorrowful thing. What? Kachartham vismritam ratna. That the jewel of the holy name, one, forget. One, what is the word? So one assumes or one thinks that this jewel is just a piece of glass. Kachartham. Kacha means glass. Kachartham vismritam ratnam. One thinks that holy name is ordinary. So that what can be more, sorrowful thing than that? Diyatam, diyatam, karana. So always chant the holy name of Lord. Always hear. Always diyatam, diyatam, vacha. Giyatam, giyatam. Always sing. Then he says that Trini Kritya Jagat Sarvam Rajate Sakalopari. Trini means grass. When I chant, the whole world, it can become like a insignificant blade of grass. Mukund in Mukundmala Stotra, one of the alvars in South India. There are many alvars, Andal, and so Raja Kulashekar Maharaj. So he was, I think, the incarnation of money of Lord Krishna. So he says, huh? Kaustubh, yes. So he says that, if you chant the holy name of Lord, the most dear thing, like that will also become insignificant in front of the chanting. So he's saying that the whole world will seem so insignificant. So another place, Bhaktivinoda Thakur he says that Nama bina kichu nahi kuaro chauda bhuvana maje Krishna nama sudha kuriya pa judao bhakti vinoda pra Krishna nam sudha kuriya pa judao bhakti vinoda pra Nama bina kichu nahi kuaro chauda bhuvana maje. So he said that if you go through all the 14 planetary systems. There are 14 planetary systems, and I think we'll see the cosmology of the universe later. But this is Bhuloka. Bhuloka, then Om Bhuvas Om Bhuloka Bhuvaloka Swargaloka Janaloka Tapaloka Maharloka Satyaloka. And down there is Atala Vitala Tala Atal Sutal and Patal. Patal is hell. And Swargaloka is generally what people know, hell and heaven. But there are 14 planets. He's saying that if you go through all the 14 planetary system, you will not find Nama Bina Kichu Nahi Kuaro. You won't find any other thing, which is meaningful other than chanting the holy names of Lord Hari. So like that, they say that it will reign over everything. Rajate Sakalopari Chidanandam Mayashudam Hare Namayeva Kevalam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare. So I think we'll end here. We'll chant one round of Hare Krishna mantra and we'll end. Hare Krishna.